Welcome to the online lecture series of Turbo Machines. Here is Professor Lakshman Mani. This is lecture on centrifugal pumps, part 2, that is work done, efficiencies and heads of centrifugal pump. I acknowledge my sincere thanks to the following authors and courtesy for being used these concepts to make this video session. In this session, you will be able to explain work done, power and efficiencies of centrifugal pump. You will also be able to explain different heads of centrifugal pump. Let us discuss about work done of centrifugal pumps. In centrifugal pumps, water enters to the eye of impeller axially and leave the blades radially at its outer periphery. So, with the help of velocity diagram, we can have U1 is a blade velocity at inlet in meter per second, which is given by the formula omega R1 is equal to pi d1n by 60 in meter per second, and U2 is a blade velocity at outlet given by the formula omega R2 is equal to pi d2n by 60, where omega is angular velocity in radian per second and its formula is 2 pi n by 60, where n is speed of impeller in RPM. R1 is radius of impeller at inlet of vane in meter, and R2 is a radius of impeller at outlet of vane. D1 and D2 are the inlet and outlet diameters. Now we will see velocity diagram of centrifugal pump. In velocity triangle diagram, at inlet triangle, inlet T parameters are V1 is absolute jet velocity, VW1 is whirl velocity, but in case of centrifugal pump, as alpha is equal to 90 degree, VW1 component is equal to 0. VF1 is a flow velocity and that is equal to V1. VR1 is a relative velocity. U1 velocity of vane. Alpha guide blade angle or Z angle, and in case of centrifugal pump it is 90 degree with the direction of motion of vane. Theta is a vane angle made by relative velocity component at inlet with direction of motion of vane. Similarly, outlet T parameters are V2, U2, VW2, VF2, VR2. Beta is guide blade or Z angle at outlet, and phi is vane angle at outlet. VW2 mathematically is given as V2 cos beta and VF2 is given as V2 sin beta. VW2 is horizontal resolve component and VF2 is vertical resolve component of V2. Now we will see relation between inward flow turbine and centrifugal pump. These both are byproduct of vane in series concept, which is studied in unit number 1. So, in case of inward flow turbine, work is done by water on runner, and in pump, if you see here, this is a runner of turbine. So here the flow is taking place from outward to inward. That's why the name is inward flow turbine. So from periphery to center. In case of centrifugal pump, work is done by impeller on water. So diagram of impeller is here. The flow of water is starting from the center and it is coming out, means it is radially coming out to the periphery. So here flow is outward. Now because of this, here if you see velocity triangle for turbine and velocity triangle for centrifugal pump, so here we will find some similarities and some differences. Here in both cases, similarity is what? At outward velocity triangle, angle beta is greater than 90 degree, means obtuse angle. So because of that, here u2 velocity in both cases is greater than vw2, means blade velocity at outlet is greater than whirl velocity at outlet in both cases. Now here in both velocity triangles, direction of vw2 and vw1 are same, but in case of centrifugal pump, vw1 is equal to 0. Inward flow turbine, work done per unit weight is given by the formula 1 upon g into vw1 u1 minus vw2 u2. Unit is Newton meter per Newton, means it is one kind of head because it is just what? In meter. As centrifugal pump is a power consuming device and it is a byproduct of Venin series, so whatever formula is used for the Francis turbine, the same formula is applicable for the centrifugal pump, but here it is power consuming, means it is reverse in action. So work done per unit weight formula for the pump is given with negative sign. That's why it is 1 minus g inside the bracket work done of turbine. So 1 upon g bracket vw1 u1 minus vw2 u2. This minus sign, if we take inside the bracket, then we get here formula for centrifugal pump 1 upon g vw2 u2 minus vw1 u1. But here, as in case of pump, alpha is equal to 0 at inlet, so vw1 is equal to 0. Hence final formula for the centrifugal pump for work done per unit weight is vw2 u2 upon g in Newton meter per Newton. So assumptions in work done are, for the pump, work done is done by impeller on water. Liquid enters impeller radially at inlet. Alpha is equal to 0, vw1 is equal to 0. No energy loss in impeller due to eddy formation, and there is no loss of energy due to shock. So work done of a pump per unit weight of water already we have discussed, just list out. Now we will see work done per second, means power consumed by the impeller or power required at impeller. So that is given by the formula rho into Q into vw2 u2, where Q is a discharge, that is area into flow velocity at outlet. So formula becomes rho a vf2 vw2 u2, and though it is power, its unit is watt. Here in this case, area of the impeller, here you can see in this image, flow area of the impeller is given by the formula pi d1b1 is equal to pi d2b2, where d2 is the diameter of impeller outlet at outlet and b2 is a width of impeller at outlet. Now we will see efficiencies of centrifugal pump. Now in centrifugal pump, journey of the energy is from motor to impeller, impeller to casing, and casing to pipe. Why? Because impeller is fixed on a shaft and shaft is connected to motor. This impeller is moving inside the casing and to the casing delivery pipe is connected. So energy from the motor to the impeller is given in the form of shaft power as the input. So work done at the impeller on water is given as vw2 u2 upon g. So this is what output as far as motor and impeller is concerned. So that's why if we consider this as an output and this as an input, then that efficiency is mechanical efficiency, which is what VW to U2 upon G into W into Q plus Q, capital Q plus small q, bracket complete, divided by shaft power. Okay, then as far as casing and impeller, if we consider these two, then here output for the casing is discharge and input to the impeller is a capital Q plus small q. So here ratio of capital Q to summation of capital Q plus small q, this is what volumetric efficiency. Then from the casing water is delivered by using delivery pipe. So here at the pipe the head is developed, that is called as manometric head. So if we consider here manometric head as an output and work done at impeller as an input, then ratio of both, that is called as manometric efficiency. So manometric efficiency is equal to HM divided by VW to U2 upon G. So now enlist the points. Manometric efficiency is manometric head to work done per unit weight. Manometric efficiency final formula can be written as G into HM divided by VW to U2, where HM manometric head is difference of head at outlet and inlet. It can be given in this way also, where this first bracket is total energy at delivery pipe and this is total energy at suction pipe. Total energy is what? Summation of pressure head PD by W plus velocity head Vd square by 2G plus datum or potential head ZD. This is for delivery pipe. Similarly, these are the points or properties for the suction. Here, if we take summation of PD by W plus ZD, then it is what? It is static delivery head HD. Similarly, PS by W plus ZS, that is HS, in static suction head. So the formula can be modified in this way also for the HM. Now mechanical efficiency, that is power at impeller to power at shaft. So rho G bracket capital Q plus small q bracket VW to U2 upon G divided by shaft power. Now overall efficiency, it is what? Output divided by input. So output is of a pump, that is manometric head or water power, and input is what? Motor, that is motor input given to the shaft, that is shaft power. So overall efficiency is what? Consideration of all efficiencies. So it can be given as product of manometric efficiency, volumetric efficiency and mechanical efficiency. Now writing the formula for each one: manometric efficiency formula, volumetric efficiency formula and mechanical efficiency formula. In this you can cancel the common terms. So Q plus Q getting cancelled. This VW to U2 upon G at numerator and denominator getting cancelled. So rest of the term, that is WQHM divided by P, is a formula for overall efficiency, where W is specific weight of water, Q is discharge, HM is manometric head and P is shaft power. Now if we take shaft power in kilowatt, then value of specific weight of water is to be taken as 9.81 in kilonewton per meter cube. This is very important in the numerical. Now we will see heads of centrifugal pumps. In this diagram we can see this is a water at sump and this is water at overhead tank. So pump is used to lift water from the sump to overhead tank. So that's why the height difference, that is called as head. So HS is a height difference between center line of a pump and water sump level. That is called as static suction head. And HD is a height difference between center line of a pump and overhead tank water level. That is static delivery head. In detail, we will see here, this is a pump, this is static suction head, this is static delivery head. Now along with this, we will consider also other things, means losses. So here HFS is a friction loss on suction side. HFD is a friction loss on delivery side. Then this is Vs square by 2G, means velocity head on suction side. Vd square by 2G means velocity head on delivery side. This is a water level. This is a footwall that is deep below the water. So these two quantities are below water level. Now here manometric head is a summation of HS means static suction head plus HD means static delivery head plus HFS means friction due to friction loss on suction side. HFD is friction loss on delivery side plus Vd square by 2G, that is velocity head in delivery pipe. Now in this case, as Vs square by 2G, this value is far low, that's why it is ignored. Now HFS and HFD together can be calculated as HF. It is given by the formula Darcy-Weisbach equation, means 4FL V square by 2GD, where F is coefficient of friction of pipe material, L is a total length, means suction plus delivery of pipe, V is a velocity in delivery pipe, and D is a diameter of pipe. So HM means manometric head is what height against which pump has to work. So HS already we have discussed. This is static head, that is summation of HS plus HD. So this already we have discussed. Now when all values are given as absolute pressure, then manometric head is expressed by the formula H static plus losses plus Vd square by 2G in meter. Further, it is given as HS plus HD, means H static, and HFS plus HFD, these are losses, plus Vd square by 2G in meter, provided Vs square by 2G is ignored because it is very small. Now when all values are given as gauge pressure, then we know that absolute pressure and gauge pressure relation. Absolute pressure is equal to atmospheric minus vacuum. So in that case, we can take formula, or we use the formula for manometric head as 1 bracket HD plus Vd square by 2G minus another bracket HS plus Vs square by 2G in meter. Now these two kind of formulae we will use in the numerical as per the given requirement of data. So at the end of this session, you can explain work done, power and efficiencies of centrifugal pump, and you can explain different heads of centrifugal pump. If you like this video, please subscribe and share. Thank you.